Square Enix showed off more footage of the Final Fantasy VII Remake at Tokyo Game Show. This time we got to see the Turks in action and kind of how we can expect combat with actual humans to take place. So I'm going to break this trailer down kind of scene by scene and talk about some certain things that are going on here. So let's just go ahead and get into it. I mean, as we can see, clearly we've got the whole train scene yet again, the beginning. The first thing I really want to talk about here is these things right here. These are, again, the same creatures that we have seen within the scene that Aerith first meets Cloud. Now, there's a lot of theories speculating what these could potentially be, from them being part of Genova, maybe them being summoned by Sephiroth, perhaps they're souls of the ancients trying to protect them, maybe there's something conjured up from the live stream. There's a lot of possibilities surrounding these Watchmen of Fate. They do seem to take a bit of a body formation, almost like there's some sort of ghost of sorts, but it kind of remains to be seen what we can expect from these guys right here. I do think that they are going to play a bigger, crucial role, not just in this game, but kind of all the games in the Final Fantasy VII Remake and what we can potentially see from there. Very curious to see what these guys are, though, because they are a brand new addition to the remake in of themselves, as they were not part of the original game.
Give me a break. Jesse! Barrett! Where you been?
Tifa,
Let's lay down some rubber.
crank that throttle. Okay, you got it.
Who's that?
A soldier.
Next thing we're going to talk about is this dude right here. We have no clue who this is. This is a brand new character created for the remake in of themselves. We kind of get two hints as to what he really is. Cloud does say he is a soldier, and if we take a look at his sword, it is the same shape and everything that we got for Zack's sword in Crisis Core, or the sword all the soldiers used in Crisis Core. Kind of the same shape, the same design, same setup. So clearly this man's from Soldier. As to his role that he's going to play into the remake, one can only guess, but from the judging, from what he's doing here, I would imagine he's been tasked with hunting down Avalanche and trying to stop them from causing any more harm to the Shinra company.
Can't say this is quite what I had in mind when I asked for your help way back when.
Tifa looks incredible. I don't care what anybody says. I really like the design of Tifa. She looks really good. Really good. She's definitely got more of an Eastern or Asian kind of look to her, whereas Aerith kind of has that more Western style look to her. But she looks really good.
Help way back when.
Of course, we get another glimpse at Sephiroth yet again. Sephiroth was not in the original game at this point. He appeared on much later. Without getting too much into spoiler territory, those who played the original Final Fantasy VII will know what I'm talking about in the Shinra building and kind of what happened there. So I think that could be maybe what we're seeing. I think it's more likely of a fact, though, we're seeing him pop up in Cloud's memories, and he's kind of a figment of Cloud's imagination. I find that scenario much more feasible.
Feels like we're flying high these days.
Now, more than ever.
We can see them parachuting down into the slums of Midgar.
Yeah.
I'll see myself in. Thanks.
Okay, Reno. Hands down, one of my favorite Turks along with Rude, and I think Reno looks really good. The first thing I kind of wanted to bring up with Reno, let's actually get a good picture of him in here. There we go. First thing I wanted to bring up with Reno is his voice actor. I actually am sold on. That was kind of one of my biggest concerns with Reno, is because I felt like Quentin Flynn did such a great job voicing Reno in Advent of Children, but his voice actor just fits it. It's does a really great job bringing the character to life. Reno looks really good as well.
Now it's my turn.
And then, of course, you know, he kind of seems to have like some sort of special abilities at least, so this will make combat interesting. And there's Rude. We can see Rude there.
Those eyes.
Let's back up the truck here. We get to see a little bit of how the human fighting works, but Reno making reference to Cloud's eyes. I think he does that in the original game as well. But, I mean, that's clearly because of being Mako-induced. Cloud has that kind of glow to his eyes that's instantly recognizable in soldiers. Combat looks incredible, by the way. Dude, Aerith is a babe. That's all I'm going to say. She looks fantastic. And those of you who haven't played the original game, what we're seeing in this scene right here, this is when Cloud dresses up as a woman to go into Don Corneo's manor. This is the dress that Aerith wears, and holy shit, it looks great.
Corneo's got certain tastes.
Don't be shy, little kitten.
Okay, this is Corneo. This right here is Mr. Pimp Daddy himself. I mean, he even has the Pimp Daddy mustache going on there. And love the little detailed chest hair, you know. I mean, this guy is a Class A pervert. Invites girls into his manor to have a little bit of fun with him. So this is going to be an interesting scene, but oh my gosh, I'm really liking what they did with Don Corneo.
Don't be shy, little kitten. Shimmy on over and give Daddy some sugar.
It'll be
People have already started pointing out, too, something I want to bring up, how much like Mark Hamill, Don Corneo sounds, and I can kind of see that being the case. Mark Hamill has worked on Square Enix projects before, where he did voice Master Ericus in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep.
fine, right? After you.
And our first look at Tseng, the other Turk we get to see, or who plays a bigger role. He kind of is in charge of keeping an eye on Aerith, basically, at least at this point in the game. Tseng looks really good as well.
You led us on a merry chase, Aerith.
Alright, so we know what this part's already alluding to. This is them climbing up to the top of the plate, and that's what's going to be happening here. Of course, we see more of the shimmying in there between Cloud and Aerith. We see the party members are following each other. The sensors on the train. We get what here appears to be mini games, throwing darts. The squatting mini game for the gym. Again, this is in Don Corneo's section when you're kind of going around trying to get the certain items for Cloud. We get to see Tifa actually participating as well. So whether or not we actually control two different segments with Tifa, maybe if we're able to return and just kind of do some things here and there, whether this pops up early on the game, remains to be seen. But we're playing as Barret, playing as Cloud, get turned into a frog, of course, all that fun stuff. Combat looks amazing. And there's our first look at President Shinra. This part is right before the Airbuster fight, and we actually got to see President Shinra in the flesh. So we're actually getting more of a hologram of him, kind of what he looks like, which is pretty cool. Okay. He makes a reference to Wutai. And for those of you who don't know, Wutai doesn't actually pop up in Midgar in the original game. Wu Tai is another area entirely that's actually completely optional. It's where the character Yuffie is from. But Wu Tai and Shinra were at war before this whole thing kind of took place. That's actually kind of where the events of Crisis Core started out, was this whole war that Shinra was having with Wu Tai. So kind of a nice little nod for those who are well adapted into Final Fantasy's lore and what is going on there to include that. But to equate Avalanche to Wu Tai, their enemy, was just kind of another significant blow. And then, of course, we hear Barrett come back like, hell we are, Wu Tai.
Wu Tai, the hell we are. You still don't understand.
Another look at Heidegger, who is another one of Shinra's higher-ups. More on the Airbuster fight. Get to see Ifrit. Fight with Reno, that's clearly up at the top of the plate. When they get up to the top, they fight Reno up there. I initially thought that this was Odin, and I still kind of somewhat think that that's a possibility, but we can see Shiva summon, which, by the way, looks incredible, and attacking him, so I think that might just be a regular enemy, unless it's confirmed that enemies can also use summoning materia as well. It's just weird as a whole to see summoning materia as a huge part within Midgar, since we didn't get our first summon until we got out of Midgar. And then that, of course, was the falling of the plate, where they crushed the entire slums village. Certain events take place that actually lead to the destruction of the entire slums. Or entire Sector 7. It's pretty crazy. But that's what that whole wreckage is there, of course. Guys, that about wraps it up for the Final Fantasy VII trailer. I am stoked to play this game. There's quite a bit of information that we got. We see this is not the final box art at all. I would like to hopefully get a reveal at Tokyo Game Show, though that is highly unlikely. Everything I'm seeing so far, though, I am really excited about. Square Enix is really paying attention to a lot of the details that made this game great. And I just really hope that they are able to continue to build on this excitement. Not only that, but deliver. Because what we're seeing looks really great. I like the way the battle system flows. The character models look really, really good. They've taken just a lot of time and detail to show off some of the environments and things like that, and really just kind of build Midgar in of itself. Some other things in the future I think we may end up seeing before the game's released. We obviously still have the reveal of Red 13 that needs to happen. We haven't seen Hojo. We haven't really seen Scarlet, though she doesn't really pop up a lot in Midgar, so she might be saved for another episode entirely. We haven't really gotten a look at her. We're still missing stuff from Cloud's cross-dressing scene, but I think that in of itself is going to be something that Square Enix is not going to reveal and leave that a treat for fans in the game, because that's a scene a lot of people, myself included, are really looking forward to seeing in the remake. And I don't know what else to say, guys. Every time I see a new trailer, this just gets me more and more excited. I cannot wait to get a chance to play this game. It's one of my most anticipated games next year, and definitely a day one pickup. So Gosh, I didn't ever think this moment would be real either, just to sit here and see this release date in front of me. March 3rd of 2019, something that I never thought would happen is almost here. So let me know what you guys thought about this trailer down below. Let me know, some things that you liked in the trailer, maybe some things you'd like to see as well. Any theories as to what the Black Mist is are also welcome down there as well. Be sure to hit subscribe to keep up to date with all things Japanese gaming related. And most importantly, stay happy, be happy, game happy. Spoons is checking out.